Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of our Cabral HouseCalls, where each and every weekend we are answering our global health community's questions. Excited to pick right up where we left off yesterday. Went over a lot of great questions yesterday, so hopefully you tuned in then. It was about, does coffee break your fast? We went over a rare or confusing mystery-based condition for a 15-year-old boy with chest pain, stomach pain, and weakness in the legs. We also talked about Hashimoto's and detoxification and rice-based protein. We talked about extended fasting. We talked about tapping into the quantum-based field. And we talked about gallstones and what to do. So a lot of great questions answered yesterday. I think that was about 6 or 7 of them. Hope to be able to get to at least the same number of those questions today. So without further ado, let's dive into more of our community's questions. All right, first one is from Luke. Luke is asking, hi, Dr. Brawl. Could you please answer my questions below? Question 1, are EMFs while flying something to be concerned with, particularly while pregnant? If so, what can be done to mitigate these issues? Okay, let's take these one at a time. So, done a lot on EMFs, even spoken about EMFs while flying. I brought my EMF meter on board an airplane, and I thought that someone was going to arrest me when I was turning it on because I expected it to spike super high. That was not what I found. I did not find high levels of EMFs around my seat. Now, you'd have high levels of EMFs if you put your laptop on or you held your phone next to you, but just me sitting near the window, just minding my own business, not a lot of high EMFs. Now, there were EMFs, but not super high, way less than I thought there would be. So that was interesting. Now, the second part was this, though, is that in my research, though, flying gives very high levels of positive ions. This is the reverse of what you want. You always think positive ions would be a good thing. It's actually not what you want. You want negative ions. Negative ions help to disperse and move around red blood cells. They don't allow for red blood cell coagulation. And there's one more thing besides the positive ions, and that is the solar-based radiation. So there's actually a high level of radiation, but not necessarily electromagnetic frequencies while flying, at least through my testing. So those both matter. What do you do to shield radiation? Well, there's some blocking of radiation through gemstones, believe it or not. And I've talked about a little bit of that. I'm going to actually point you back to the show. That was on episode 1491. I talked about a couple different gemstones. One is jade. Another, amethyst is one, but that's not in the same way. Organite, that's another as well. Okay, now one more that I want to give you is when you get off that airplane. I was actually trading tips with, so although I am a biohacker, I don't like to refer to myself as a biohacker. I just think it's like, you don't hack the body. The body's not meant to be hacked, nor can you outsmart the body. And that's why I'm going to be sharing with you on an upcoming podcast in a couple weeks. All these people using smart drugs, like literally drugs, they're not smart at all, to try to prevent aging, off base right now. They really are. They're coming with unintended side effects that people are not understanding well enough. And I'm going to be sharing some of those, such as the potential downsides of the statin drugs that many people are using when they don't need them, metformin when they're using that they don't need it, and higher levels of nicotinamide, riboside, and other things as well. Again, benefits to all of those if needed. I'm not an advocate of statins, but anyway, I'll share that with you on an upcoming show. Okay, so what I was talking about with this person, one of my colleagues, is that first thing that we do when we get off an airplane is we ground. So get back more of those negative ions. Anything to do with earthing or grounding will help you out tremendously. And again, you can search that topic at stephencabral.com/podcast. Okay, question number 2 is, what are your thoughts on scalar energy? There is a product called Blushield that claims to use technology to reduce EMFs by producing a stronger frequency for a person's body to resonate with instead of EMFs. Are you familiar with this technology? If so, what are your thoughts? Also, if you haven't heard of Blushield, could you please review it one day? Thank you in advance. Have a great day, Luke. Luke, thanks for writing in. Obviously, you're very well read in this area. I got a question a couple weeks ago on the same device. Okay, so let me give you my thoughts. There is a device that I just reviewed that is similar to Blushield, but it does a little bit more in terms of killing of viruses, bacteria, and actually adding structure back to water. So let's see if I can find that. It's called the Somavedic, and it was on episode 1463. So Luke, I'd love you to check out the episode 1463. The Somavedic shares some similarities with the Blushield. I may actually do a product review on that coming up soon. We'll see. I don't know yet, but we'll see. How can I share this with you? It's not a stronger frequency. So it's not stronger than EMFs. It's different. And the frequency is actually better picked up because it matches more of that of the earth. So it's better picked up by the cells in the body, which means that the body picks up that scalar wave energy rather than the electromagnetic frequency wave, because everything's a wave, right? A wave in terms of, and this is my limited knowledge of physics at this level. I love physics, but I'm not a physicist. I don't want to claim that I am, but I can assure you that this really does exist, and that at least with the Somavedic, I haven't looked in the research yet with Blushield, but the Somavedic, lots of research showing that it does work. So what does it do? Well, your body picks up that wave instead of the wave of the electromagnetic frequency. So yes, they do work, some good research behind them, and I use one right now in my office, and I'm purchasing one for my house. I answered that. I know that you wrote in on 115, so that's why I've already talked about that on a podcast. All right. Kim's up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. Love listening to your podcast, and I've learned so much. I was recently diagnosed with pelvic congestion syndrome from an MRI to find out why my hip was hurting. I've asked for help on the support group page and did a search on a podcast you have done and have not found very much help on this topic. Can this be something that's fixed through natural treatments, or will I need some type of surgery to address the condition? Thank you for your time. Kim, I'm happy to answer this question. Thank you for writing in. And to answer your question, Kim, I want you to go back to a show I did on varicose veins. So people who they're not familiar with pelvic congestion syndrome, of course, it's just another fancy name for really enlarged, typically, now not always, but typically it's enlarged veins, and they can actually change shape or get swollen, very much like varicose veins. So since we tackled this topic, and instead of the legs, like the calves or back of the legs, where a lot of men and women get varicose veins, women and men, but typically more women, can start to get them in the hips. So all we need to do is type in varicose at StephenCabral.com, and we're able to find that podcast. That was episode 1484, and it was episode 890, and 1317. But what I want to do is give you the herbal-based remedies for this. So I'm not saying that this is to treat any disease, but I at least want to give you what we know works. And what we know works is anything for the vascular system. Now, we're coming out with a vascular-based product, but it won't be out until September, so I know that's obviously a little too late, right? But here's some things that you can start to check out. I love proteolytic enzymes, so I would use something like, I'm not going to use something like, well, the product Florafilm is what we recommend. 4 on an empty stomach upon waking, or 2 in the morning upon waking, 2 before bed. Another great one, or great couple ones, is horse chestnut and butcher's broom. And I actually linked up the product, so you can just go to StephenCabral.com/484, and you'll see the product. This is not the only one, but horse chestnut, butcher's broom, horse teal is another one, and then in the Florafilm, it's at least a good place to start. And of course, I'd be using omega-3s, and I would be using the daily foundational protocol level 2. Again, not to treat, not to cure disease, but that's at least where I would start, okay? Anti-inflammatory diet, functional medicine detox. Remember, read the book, The Rain Barrel Effect, and start to work that protocol. All right, Susanna is next. Dear Dr. Ball, I really want to know your opinion about the supplementation with Nicotinamide Riboside for mitochondrial health. I've been reading great scientific research about it, and I was wondering if you have used it, or you come across scientific evidence supporting its benefits. I really trust your opinion and would like to know if you would recommend it before I start using it. Also, because the supplements containing nicotinamide riboside are not the cheapest ones around. Thank you so much for your answer. You're right. So nicotinamide riboside, expensive supplement, also referred to as NR. A comparable product would be something like nicotinamide mononucleotide. Okay, NMN. Now, great research behind it. I'm an advocate of the product, but it's one of those things that people are using where they are forgetting to look at how the body would process it. And therein lies the problem with anti-aging based solutions from people that are just looking at, now this is not you, Susanna, this is like the PhDs or people in a lab, brilliant people who get caught up in the research and forget to say, oh, well, what happens over the course of 20, 30 years using this product? So I'm going to get to this on a specific show. I'm going to be talking about metformin. I'm going to be talking about nicotinamide riboside. I'll be talking about transresveratrol. I'll be talking about statin drugs, you name it. I'm going to talk about all the things that people are using to try to extend life, but much of the time erroneous, really, really not how they should be using them. So do I like nicotinamide riboside? The answer is yes. We have a brand new flagship anti-aging protocol coming out in September. I've been using it for 3 years. I know I've been holding back for 3 years, but I really haven't. And the reason is this. You just said they're expensive, right? Well, think about a product with 6 ingredients, not just nicotinamide riboside. Now, think about us selling it for the same price someone would charge just for nicotinamide riboside. How were we able to do that? Well, we weren't until we started to, again, a lot of people don't know this, and I don't like to make it really, I never talk about the finances or anything like that. We reinvest everything that comes in at Equilibrium Nutrition to more product formulations, better product formulations, buying in larger bulk so that we can continue to reduce costs for our community. That's the truth. It's the absolute truth. 100%. The money that we make from Equilibrium Nutrition gets reinvested back into the company. That's the truth. And I'm dedicated to creating an anti-aging line. So we're going to have 2 products together. I can't really go into it too much right now because I would be giving it all away. It's going to be a flagship protocol, just like Fatlocity is for weight loss, which is changing the industry. Well, we're going to do the same thing for anti-aging. We already did it with gut health as well with the CBO protocol. So we will change the industry. We did it with our daily nutritional support. A lot of people are trying to copy all-in-ones, but it's not the daily nutritional support. It's not. So huge fan of it. I'll give you one little tip. If you take nicotinamide riboside, and I'll talk about this in maybe like 6 weeks or so, it begins to wipe out what are called methyl donors. So if you're going to take nicotinamide riboside, which is a great product, we want to be careful that we don't wipe out our methyl donors, which over time then begins to not allow us the best detox or the best natural inflammation balancing ability in the body. Okay, Sasha's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. First of all, thanks for all your amazing work and your effort and to release a great and helpful podcast every day. I can't imagine how much work and dedication it takes, and I want to let you know that we all notice and appreciate it greatly. Sasha, I just want to stop for a moment and thank you for that. I appreciate it. That means a lot to me. It is a lot of work, but I am dedicated and I love what I do, and I just appreciate you saying that. That's all, because that's all really that I need. It's the truth. Is like, we're going to start doing more live events, but typically all the people that I answer questions for and I see on social media, I never get to meet. And so just you writing in and leaving some kind words or leaving a review on iTunes for the podcast, that means the world to me. So if you've done that, I appreciate you. If you haven't done that, if you're able to, that would mean the world to me as well. Or leaving a review for my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, on Amazon. So she said, I also want to ask you if you've ever done a 3-day water fast. Apparently 3 days without food is when the autophagy really kicks in and starts cleaning out the old defective cells. Is this true? And if this is, how would you go about this? How would you prepare for it? What would be your advice on activity during these 3 days? And how would you break it? What type and how much food would you eat the day after? Would this affect female hormones? In what way? Sorry, it's a lot of questions, but if anyone could answer them, it'd be you. Thank you for your answer and everything that you do. Thank you again, Sasha. So I've studied water fasting in depth because I've studied the natural hygienists who are the original naturopaths, and traditional naturopathy talks all about the traditional naturopaths, which were, John Harvey Kellogg talks about it, Dr. Herbert Shelton. I can't go through all of them right now, a lot of the German-based doctors that I've studied. So I've done a long, long water fast. I won't get into it today. I think I've talked about it a little bit before. Let me just see if I can find the water fast episode where I talked about it, because it's not willy-nilly. You can't just do a water fast unless you're under medical supervision. I really believe that. 2 to 3 days is okay, and I'm going to share with you why. But let's see. Longest fast, episode 1380. So I did talk about it on 1380, so you can get more information there. Let's see if I found it, if I talked about it anywhere else. Well, I'll do a podcast on water fasting. But here's why I don't recommend a water fast. Not out of the gates. Not until you're good at what we call a functional medicine detox. So first of all, autophagy kicks in, well, throughout the day, believe it or not. When blood sugar's down, you're feeling pretty well. It's just at a lower dosage. Autophagy kicks into a larger dosage, at about 16 or 18 hours. And that's why I do recommend for most people, that 24-hour fast once a week. Now, again, it's easier than you think. It's stopping eating at dinner, after dinner Sunday night, and then just have dinner Monday night. Well, it's a 24-hour fast. Pretty easy, right? You just drink some herbal tea or some water during the day. Now, every 12 weeks, I essentially do a 3-day water fast. It's our functional medicine detox. So it's technically 2 3/4 days, because you're going, let's say you started on Monday. You're going from Sunday night, all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and then Wednesday until lunch. So basically all you missed was about 4 hours. That's it. So it's about a 3-day water fast. Now, you're using, though, the daily nutritional support shake for 4 shakes during the day. Keep in mind, you're only getting total of 300, 400 calories, and you're getting 30 grams of protein, because you need the amino acids to help with the detox and also make sure that you're not catabolizing muscle tissue too much and that you're not really lowering those hormones. And then you take the AYU and the FM detox. So the truth is, this is exactly what I would do. You'll stay in autophagy. You might pop out for 30 minutes or so after your shake. That's it. And again, you can find this information at equilibriumnutrition.com/detox. And I did a whole course on it, absolutely free, at least for the time being, at equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course, which tells you exactly best ways to fast. So once you do this and you really don't have any bad Herxheimer-based reactions, then maybe in the future, you could start to do a longer water fast. After 3 days, not too bad to break that, honestly. You could break it with a little bit of soup that night. You could break it with a little bit of fruit, and then just getting eased back into some cooked food. Very, very simple. I've done a much longer water fast. I don't want people to copy this. Please don't copy this. Don't do what I did. I did a 7-day water fast, much more in depth to break, okay? You need to break it over the course of about 2 days. So you can't just go back to eating. You would do detriment to your stomach and to your pancreas and to your gallbladder and your liver and all the enzymes that you need. So follow the functional medicine detox. It's what I do. It's what we recommend in our private practice. Been doing now that for 7 years. I can't recommend anything more than that. That's the honest truth. Okay. Long answers here. I apologize. I've only gotten through 3 questions. I need to answer some more questions here. Okay. Farrell is up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, are there any health benefits from Tongkat Ali and Longiac, like for athlete in the mid-30s? I want to know if there are benefits. Would one be able to use it during the 7-day detox? Thank you. Okay, well, this is a product, and this is coming out, again, people are asking ingredients in all of our new products. This will actually be one of the 7 ingredients in our libido and testosterone booster. So yes, there is clinical benefit to this product, and we will be using the patented ingredient of that. So there's a patented ingredient of it, and the patented ingredient has the clinical research behind it. Excited to bring that to you. Is it good for athletes in the mid-30s? I mean, no, not specifically. I mean, yes, like there is with libido and hormone balance, but for an athlete in their mid-30s, there's so much more I would do. Like that wouldn't be the one. I'd be working on first the daily foundation protocol to make sure you get all your needs met. I'd be working on sleep. I'd be working on what your recovery look like. I mean, I'd look at vitamin C and zinc right out of the gates. I'd look at caffeine usage. I mean, there's so many things before I would use that herbal product. But again, yes, there's benefit to it. There's clinical research behind it. And you'll see that in our libido booster, which is legitimate research backed. Again, everything we do is research backed, but these products are going to be pretty amazing. And they'll be out in about somewhere around September, October of 2020. Okay, Dan's up next. How's that for a cliffhanger? You only have to wait 6 more months. All right, but these are coming out. We've got about 10 to 12 new products coming out, which we are super excited about. They cost us a ton of money to formulate, but they're all worth it for sure, without a doubt, and they will be hopefully very well received. Dan is up next. I'm a 44-year-old male, overall healthy, multiple simple cysts on liver and 1 on kidney that seem to be growing. Question to you. What causes these cyst formations? What can we do to shrink or eliminate them? As always, you're a blessing to all of us. Thank you. Okay, we have many, many shows, Dan, on cysts. So I just typed in cyst at stephencabral.com/podcasts. We have one on 273, 386, 470, 561, 653, 933, 989, 1135, 1191, 1205, 1254. One on kidney cyst right there, so you might want to check out episode 1254. Let's see, 1296, 1303, 1395, 1422, 1443, and 1471, which was a ganglion cyst. Okay, so what causes these cysts? Well, multiple reasons. That's the issue, right? Higher levels of estrogen, higher levels of inflammation, higher levels of blood sugar. Those are some of the main reasons right there, okay? So it's basically a dysregulated system, higher levels of inflammation, and potentially higher levels of growth hormone possible, right? They can be fatty lipomas. They can be, I don't know what type of cysts you have. I'm assuming they're absolutely benign. So what our job is now is typically to use 8 weeks of proteolytic-based enzymes. The enzymes that we use are called Flora-Film, F-L-O-R-A, film, F-I-L-M. And you can use 2 in the morning upon waking and 2 upon bed, before bed, or you can use 4 upon waking. That works as well. But proteolytic enzymes is a great first starting point. And then we're going to be doing a functional medicine detox, as long as this is okay with your doctor, again, your PCP, because I don't know your health history. I can't treat or diagnose disease. I'm not talking about that, right? There's no treatment here. There's no cure here. What I'm talking about is rebalancing the body, getting it super healthy. I would also be using vitamin C for sure. I would look into the daily foundation protocol level 2. Can't recommend that enough on a daily basis. And what many people in our community also do is something called coffee enemas for detoxification, or they're using it with saunas. And the reason we're doing that too is to help speed up that detox-based process. Okay, one more tip I'll give you is the addition of N-acetylcysteine and castor oil packs. So N-acetylcysteine, 600 milligrams or so per day. It's certainly not a high dosage. Many people use double that. But what it does is it just allows for, and you don't have to use this necessarily for more than 12 weeks or so, but what it can do is just give you a boost in your own natural production of glutathione. I mean, again, a lot of people using alpha-lipoic acid and selenium and all sorts of different things, but you're going to get those with your functional medicine detox. You're going to get all of this in your daily foundation protocol level 2. And the castor oil pack you can actually place over the liver. And again, simply go to StephenCabral.com/podcasts and type in castor oil pack. And I'll do it for you right now. Castor oil, let's see if my spelling is horrific, but if we go to castor oil pack, we'll see what episode it was. And well, we have it on a bunch. It was on, let's see if I can give you the actual episode here. A lot on the house calls, right? Okay, episode 424 and 450. Both of those will teach you how to do a castor oil pack. So hopefully that's enough information that you need to get started. And of course, I wish you all the best. Thank you everyone for tuning into the show today. I appreciate you. Appreciate your listens, your shares, your downloads, your reviews. All of it means the world to me. Thank you. Take care. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to StephenCabral.com/courses.